welcome to the deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Today we're going deep on the incredible story of Kalpana Chawla.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got some really fascinating stuff here, stuff that paints a vivid picture of her journey
Yeah, absolutely.
as this Indian-American astronaut engineer and somebody who really became a global symbol
Yeah.
through, her dedication to NASA and to the space exploration.
Absolutely. It's really an incredible life that she led. So,
Yeah, we're going to cover everything from her, early life and education all the way through her career at NASA,
mm-hmm.
both of her space missions, and then, of course, what she left behind, her lasting impact.
Right.
It's pretty amazing when you consider, for our listeners out there that Kalpana Chawla wasn't just any astronaut.
Right.
She was the first Indian woman to travel to space.
A huge milestone. Yeah.
That's that's something that's monumental.
Mm.
So let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
Where was she born?
So Kalpana Chawla was born on March 17th, 1962,
Okay.
in Karnal,
Uh-huh.
Haryana, India.
Okay, India.
Mhm.
And what about her family?
So her father, Banarsi Lal Chawla, was a businessman,
Okay.
and her mother, Sanyugita Chawla, was a homemaker.
Okay.
She was the youngest of four.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Okay.
It seems like from a pretty young age, she just had this pull towards science.
Uh-huh.
Like she was fascinated by planes and stars. Just
Yeah.
You can almost imagine her as a kid just staring up at the sky.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally, just totally mesmerized.
Right, exactly, yeah.
So where did she go to school?
So she started her education at the Tagore Baal Niketan School
Okay.
in Karnal.
Uh-huh.
And, I think that really laid a strong foundation for her, for all of her achievements academically.
Yeah, it seems like she was very driven
Extremely driven, yeah.
from a young age.
Mhm.
So she graduates from this school. Where did she go after that?
Well, she went on to get her bachelor's degree in aeronautical engineering
Wow.
from Punjab Engineering College in Chandigarh.
Chandigarh. Okay.
This was in 1982.
82. Okay.
Yeah, and I think it's important to remember the context here.
Yeah.
For a woman in India at that time
Uh-huh.
to choose such a specialized field
Yeah.
that was, heavily male-dominated,
Yeah.
it really does speak volumes about her determination
Yeah.
and her vision for what she wanted to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like it was clearly not the easy path,
Right, exactly.
but that's pretty amazing. So it seems like she doesn't stop there.
No, not even close.
This is just the beginning.
hmm
So where does she go from her bachelor's degree?
She makes a pretty big decision to come to the U.S.
Wow.
for her master's and doctorate studies.
So she just decides, hey, I'm going to go to America.
Yeah.
Wow, that's quite a move.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a huge leap, not just geographically, but
Wow.
academically.
Yeah.
I mean, she got her master's in aerospace engineering in '84 from the University of Texas.
Okay.
But then she went on to get a second master's
Wow.
and then a Ph.D. from the University of Colorado.
Okay, so she ends up with 3 master's degrees.
No, 2 masters and a Ph.D.
2 masters and a PhD.
Mm-hmm.
And this is all in aerospace engineering.
Right. That's right.
Okay, and she finished that in 88.
1988.
Okay, so that's 5-6 years of some pretty intense school.
Yeah, incredibly intense. And I would just think about that progression.
Yeah.
Each degree
Yeah.
represents a deeper understanding of the complexities of flight and space,
Yeah. Yeah, so she's just diving deeper and deeper
Exactly, yeah.
into this field.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's pretty obvious that she's setting herself up for something big.
Yeah, absolutely.
So she finishes her PhD.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next step?
So after all that studying,
Yeah.
Kalpana joins NASA
Oh, wow.
at the Ames Research Center.
Okay.
This is in the early 90s.
Okay.
And her focus there was on something called computational fluid dynamics.
Okay. And for those of us who didn't get a PhD in aerospace engineering, what is that?
Well, so imagine you're trying to, design a plane
Okay.
or a spacecraft.
Yeah.
You need to understand how air flows around it, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Back in the day, engineers would use wind tunnels. These are big physical tunnels where you can control how air is blown over a model.
Okay, so kind of like a physical simulation.
Yeah, exactly. CFD is like a virtual wind tunnel.
Oh.
It uses really powerful computers to simulate the behavior of fluids,
Okay.
like air,
Okay.
or liquids like, rocket fuel.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is super important for designing safer and more efficient aircraft and spacecraft.
Yeah, because you can kind of experiment without having to physically build a million different models.
Yeah, you don't have to build tons of physical models.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's it's a huge time saver.
Yeah, and it's also much more precise. You
Yeah.
can tweak things and see the results immediately.
Wow. That's that's incredible. So she's doing this at NASA, and then what happens?
Well, not too long after joining NASA, in 1994,
Okay.
she gets selected for the astronaut training program,
Oh, wow.
which,
So this is like
big moment.
it's like the culmination of all of this work.
Yeah, definitely a dream come true.
So she goes through astronaut training,
Right.
and what happens?
Well, after rigorous training,
Yeah.
she joins the crew on the Space Shuttle Columbia
Okay.
for mission STS-87.
STS-87.
Yeah.
Okay, now when you see these mission designations like STS,
Right.
what does that stand for?
STS stands for Space Transportation System. It was just NASA's way of naming the space shuttle missions.
Okay, so each mission had
Right.
like an STS designation, and this one was 87.
Yeah, STS-87.
Okay, so what year was this?
This launched on November 19th, 1997.
97.
Yeah, and it lasted about 2 weeks until December 5th.
Okay, so almost a full 2 weeks in space.
Yeah.
So during this mission, what was her role?
So on STS-87, Kalpana participated in all sorts of microgravity experiments.
Okay, and what are those exactly?
So, here on Earth,
Yeah.
everything is affected by gravity constantly.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And that influences all kinds of processes.
Yeah.
From how things are made to how our bodies function.
Yeah.
In space, though, there's almost no gravity.
Yeah.
So scientists can do these experiments to see how things work without that influence.
That's so cool.
It is. It's really fascinating. It helps us develop new materials,
Okay.
improve manufacturing, and even understand how the human body works in space.
Right.
Which is essential for long-duration space travel.
Yeah, like if we want to go to Mars or something.
Exactly.
We need to know how our bodies are going to hold up without gravity.
Mm-hmm.
That's really interesting. So she's doing all this.
Yeah.
And how many times did they orbit the Earth during this mission?
They completed 252 orbits.
252.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of orbits.
It is, yeah.
So she completes this first space flight,
Mm-hmm.
and as our sources emphasize, this is a huge moment.
Absolutely.
She becomes, a global icon.
Yeah.
She's the first Indian woman in space.
Right.
What kind of impact did that have?
It was a source of immense pride.
Yeah.
Not just for India, but I think for women around the world.
Yeah.
It was a moment where, people saw that boundaries could be broken.
Yeah.
And that you could achieve anything you set your mind to.
It's like a very visible example of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So she does this first mission,
Right.
but her journey doesn't end there.
No, it does.
She goes back to space.
Right.
What's the name of her second mission?
Her second mission was STS-107.
Okay, 107.
Mm-hmm.
And when did that launch?
This one launched on January 16th, 2003.
Okay.
Now, sadly, this mission ended in tragedy.
Right.
But
Yeah, so before we get into that, what was her role on this mission?
So on STS-107, Kalpana was the robotic arm operator.
Okay, robotic arm operator.
Mm-hmm.
What does that entail?
So picture this giant mechanical arm
Okay.
attached to the space shuttle, like
Mhm.
incredibly precise.
Okay.
And Kalpana's job was to control it,
Okay.
to deploy and retrieve satellites,
Uh-huh.
and to move equipment around outside the spacecraft.
Wow, that's a big responsibility.
It is, yeah, very precise movements.
Yeah, very precise.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah.
But, just like her first mission, this one was also really focused on scientific research.
Okay.
They were doing all sorts of experiments up there.
Okay, so this mission is going on.
Mhm.
They're doing all this really important work.
Right.
And then, as you mentioned, the unthinkable happened
Yeah.
during reentry.
Mm-hmm.
On February 1st, 2003,
Yeah.
the Space Shuttle Columbia broke apart.
It did.
And, yeah, it's just, it's just a terrible reminder of how dangerous space travel is.
Yeah, the inherent risks of exploration.
Yeah.
Pushing the boundaries.
Yeah. All 7 astronauts on board were lost.
They were, including Kalpana.
Yeah. It's just it's a really sad day for NASA.
Absolute.
For the whole world, really.
Yeah, profound loss.
It's and as our sources point out, it's a very somber chapter in the history of space exploration.
It is, yeah.
But it also underscores the courage and the dedication of everybody who ventures out into space.
Absolutely, the risks they take.
Yeah, they're doing it for to expand our knowledge.
Yeah, for all of us.
For all of humanity. So even though this was such a tragic event,
right?
Kalpana's life and her achievements, they still have this really powerful impact.
They do, yeah.
Her story has become about something much, much bigger than just space travel.
Right.
What do you think? What do you think her story embodies?
Well, I think it really embodies courage.
Yeah.
A real dedication to her goals and this, relentless pursuit of her dreams.
Yeah.
Even when those dreams seemed impossible to others.
Yeah.
She didn't let anyone tell her what she could or couldn't do.
Yeah. She just kept pushing forward.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's really inspiring.
It is. Yeah.
Especially for young people today who are trying to figure out what they want to do with their lives.
Yeah, and particularly for women in STEM fields.
Yeah, of course.
Seeing someone like her achieve what she did is incredibly powerful.
Absolutely. So it's not just, this abstract idea of inspiration. There are concrete examples of how her legacy lives on.
Yeah, definitely.
So in India, there are tons of schools and scholarships and awards that are named after her.
That's right.
And these are all geared towards, nurturing the next generation.
Yeah, fostering that scientific curiosity.
Yeah.
In young minds.
So it's really helping to carry on her work in a way.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's not just in India.
No.
NASA has also honored her in some pretty amazing ways.
Yeah, they named a supercomputer after her.
A supercomputer?
Yeah, which is, a testament to her contributions to their research.
Yeah, so they're using this incredibly powerful machine.
Right.
That's named after her. To do their work.
To push the boundaries of science.
That's incredible.
It is, and they even named a hill on Mars after her.
A hill on Mars.
Yeah.
That's
pretty cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, a permanent marker of her on another planet.
Wow, so her impact is literally interplanetary.
It is. Yeah.
That's incredible. So if we look at, the big message that comes out of all of this, it's that with hard work, dedication, not giving up when things get tough,
right?
You can really achieve any dream.
Yeah, absolutely.
No matter how impossible it might seem.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest takeaway from Kalpana's story.
Yeah, and it's, it's really something that we should all strive for.
It is, yeah.
It's, she didn't just reach for the skies.
No, she soared through them.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
She showed what human potential can really achieve.
Absolutely. So to kind of sum up this deep dive, we've really explored this remarkable life.
Yeah.
From her early life in India to her achievements as a pioneering astronaut.
Right.
And her contributions to NASA and space exploration are undeniable.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think it's safe to say that her legacy as this symbol of courage and inspiration is going to continue to inspire generations to come.
Absolutely. She made history and really changed how we think about what's possible.
Yeah, she showed us that, the potential is limitless. So on that note, here's something for all of you listening to think about.
Okay.
How does Kalpana Chawla's story challenge your own assumptions about what you can achieve?
Yeah, good question.
What are the skies in your own life that you feel inspired to reach for? Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
It was a pleasure being here.